You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb McChesney and Ryan Moore.
Hello and welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast, everybody. I am your host, Kaleb McChesney. We're happy you're here with us on a special edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. As usual, alongside me, my co-host, Ryan. Ryan, you got any? Yeah, have a good week. Everything sitting well?
Yeah, I mean, Patriots won.
Yeah, that's more than we usually get nowadays.
Yeah.
And obviously, you see a new face that's sitting right next to me on this side here. It is the Big Zo of Big Zo and Cabra Sports Talk. I mean, if you research our channel a little bit, you see our Friends of the Show tab as the Big Zo and Cabra channel. You find Big Zo and Cabra over there. You see the old Plastic Negotiations episodes. You see Sports Off Broad Street over there. Plenty of cool stuff going on there. But if you're not familiar with the Big Zo, I will let him introduce himself and give you a little bit of a rundown about who he is.
Hey everyone, the Big Zo. My name's Alonzo. I've been friends with these guys for a bit now. Invited me to come on today. I'm excited to be here. I host Big Zo and Cabra Sports Talk with my brother Cabra. All good friends. You know, we're all hang out. We all love talk sports. We were introduced by Stokesy. So hey Stokesy, what's up, bro? And it's been a great time. It's been about a year now, I believe, a little over a year we've been introduced. So happy to be here. Let's do it, guys. Let's kill it.
Hell yeah. All right. So the Patriots climbed to 1-2 on Sunday, beating the New York Jets 15-10 in a slog. I mean, there's no other way to put that. It was, messy offense, tight defense. They reminded me a lot of the Colts game last year that I was in attendance for. It was just not a whole lot of highlights. You just get over there and get it done. Although Farrell Brown did have a really cool touchdown. There were highs, lows, and everything in between, and we'll cover it all here. For the record, Big Zo, the Big Zo, is not a Patriots fan.
Hey, I don't mind the Patriots. I'm not like a fan. I don't mind them.
I've been warming him up a little bit as the year has gone on. Maybe I influenced a couple of decisions. Definitely not your Bailey Zappi take, but to open this episode, let's talk about the game at hand. Obviously, the Patriots played great defense, but the offense still not a ton of big plays to really talk about. Mac Jones, aforementioned, passed for 201 yards and a touchdown, but the offense was pretty much rendered useless, for lack of a better term. This is a Jets team that Zo's Cowboys absolutely demolished in week 2. So we all have a little bit of a feeling about the Jets and how both of our teams compare. And obviously we have Zo on because the Dallas Cowboys are hosting the New England Patriots on Sunday. But back to a Patriots note here. Ryan, let's go to you. Let's give me some positive and negative takeaways from week 3.
Well, the positive takeaways is that the defense didn't let Zach Wilson beat them. I mean, good for you guys. Because, I mean, there's been times where they've tried to make the opposing quarterback beat them. And, I mean, Blake Bortles once beat them. And I remember that. That was awful. That game sucked. So you did your jobs defensively. It was an ugly game, slogfest, like you said, rainy, shitty, blech. But you did your jobs. All right, you got the win. You did your jobs there. Offensively, not a whole lot to write about, man. I mean, Zeke, he had a decent game statistically.
The first decent Zeke game we've had since getting him.
Yeah.
It's probably his first decent game in like 4 years, guys.
Yeah.
Didn't shed a lot of tears.
I gotta say, I have not been impressed with Ramondre Stevenson this season. I mean,
no.
He had a couple brutal drops. Most notable, I think it was on 3rd down, I believe, right? It was.
It was awful. It was awful.
Right off the hands. I know it's raining and stuff, but still, come on. Like James White would catch that. That Kevin Falk.
It would have been 30 yards too, by the way. Like if Ramondre had caught it and just turned, he was gone, to the races.
And hits off his hands. Come on. I've been hyping, I've been really hyped about this guy Even since the day we got him, I was really excited.
I thought he was a great element to the offense. He was a different kind of back that could do a couple of different things. He was a solid receiving back his rookie year. He was a solid receiving back coming out of college. Like that was what he was going to take over for Damian Harris. But
I thought it was going to be kind of like almost like a Le'Veon Bell from the Steelers type thing.
He still looks like that. Yeah,
but he looked like Jets Le'Veon Bell or Bucks Le'Veon Bell. It was not good.
You look like Jets Dalvin Cook, bro.
Jets Dalvin Cook.
I was about to say, how about Chiefs Le'Veon Bell?
Chiefs Le'Veon Bell.
Riding the bench, Le'Veon Bell. That the one?
Wasn't Le'Veon Bell a Raven, or am I like?
I think he had a tryout with the Ravens.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Then they went and signed.
It wasn't pretty post.
Then they signed Devontae Freeman or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, another negative element I gotta say, and I hate to bring this conversation up early, but Juju Smith, and we were talking about in the offseason the whole, his knee's gonna explode and stuff.
We thought it was crap.
I was like, come on, Albert. With the most due respect to Albert Breer and stuff, like, you're coming in talking about, his knee's a ticking time bomb. Like, okay, what are your sources on that? With the most due respect, like, that's not me trying to challenge his journalistic integrity. It's just like, who are you hearing that from? But after watching Juju play, I'm really concerned.
No explosiveness whatsoever.
He hasn't really been involved in the offense as much as you'd think he was. He hasn't looked explosive out there. It's just been bleh. And you look at, I was a little more optimistic about the move in the offseason when they moved on for Jacoby Myers, because I was thinking, you know what, Juju will bring a physical element and stuff like that Jacoby Myers couldn't bring.
For the record, I hated it as soon as we let Jacoby go.
I was more positive.
I hated it. I hated it from the jump.
But I viewed it as more like wanting to get back to the yak style in New England, whereas more so we're going to play tough physical football. And Juju just hasn't brought any of that.
More drops than catches, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's a bust yet, because it's week 3. Like, who knows? But
early contender.
First 3 weeks are ugly.
Yeah.
And we did say the same thing about Stephon Gilmore, but that's because the Patriots are misusing Stephon Gilmore. It wasn't a lack of talent. It was the fact that they're sticking a square peg in a round hole by playing a man coverage guy in zone.
By the way, also hated it when we let Stephon Gilmore go. Shout out to Zoe's Cowboys, because I'm sure Gilly Lock is absolutely falling out over there in Dallas right now.
Yeah.
We're liking having him over here.
The Patriots letting Gilmore go was a disaster.
I have his jersey.
Such a great Patriots. He's still a great football player too, man. Like, why get to ruin that relationship?
Everybody said he was washed. Like, as soon as he went to Indy, everybody's like, he's washed.
They watched that one clip of like DK Metcalf just bully balling him like in the Seattle game in 2020. You're like, he's washed. Despite the fact he's still really good that season.
Yeah, no, if he didn't tear his quad week 15, like,
yeah, come
unbelievable.
On. But yeah, no, I am still concerned about the offensive line. We're going against Dallas this week. Once again, it's not easy, man. You got Micah Parsons to go against.
You know who Belichick compared Micah Parsons to this week?
I'm going to guess Lawrence Taylor.
There's only one Lawrence Taylor, but Micah Parsons is pretty good. I'm not saying he's the next Lawrence Taylor, because Lawrence Taylor's Lawrence Taylor, but I know Zoe missed those impressions. Yeah.
You got to do a Trump one at some point this episode.
Oh boy.
The Patriots need to protect Mac Jones. It is a disgrace what they're doing to him. Bill Belichick should be fired. If I were Bob Kraft, I would go up to Belichick right now and say, Bill Belichick, you're fired.
Start Bailey Zappi, Bill. Mac Jones is not a winner. Mini Mac Jones. He is not good at football. You need big Bailey Zappi. It is
McDonald's Mac can't get it done.
McDonald's Mac. Oh, and that would be something he would say, Mr. McDonald's himself. Quarter pounder, Diet Coke.
That's my go-to meal, but apparently it's Mac Jones's too.
But yeah, no, I am concerned about the O-line, especially going against Dallas. I mean, they still haven't inspired much confidence, and I'll be frank, they need to draft an offensive lineman this year, first round. It's not cutting it. And you look around the talent in the league, and I was talking to a buddy of mine about trench play in football, right? If you don't have good trench play, you're boned. And you look at a lot of football around the league right now, there's a lot of bad offensive lines. And as a result, there's a lot of bad offenses out there right now. And I really think the Patriots, if you want to even have a chance with Mac Jones, and Mac, I know I had that whole thing last week where it's like, I don't know if he's the future of the team or not. I don't know, but
No. You're being a little disingenuous about what you said last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I don't think it's the future.
There you go. Say it with your chest.
Don't think.
I said I don't know. You said it definitively.
Under the way things stand, though, if you're gonna keep this guy, you gotta at least give him a fighting chance. The offensive line's not giving him a fighting chance, and he's looked good this year. Honestly, he looked decent versus the Jets, but like
I feel like there just wasn't with the Jets. There wasn't a lot of like opportunities to really like do much. Like the Jets defense was really good, and the Jets defense is usually pretty good. It was just like they had solid field position every time. They were able to run the ball, chew the clock, little dinky passes, keep it going, and they had that low scoring affair that was almost people forget what's his name was like inches away from catching that Hail Mary at the end.
Oh yeah, dude, that was Randall Cobb almost got that. That was
Cobby. Rodgers would have hit
it. Yeah, probably. I was almost half expecting it to go like this. Like, yeah, this is.
I'm like, really, this is how we lose, but. No.
Remember the Bears game in 2018 where like Kevin White caught it?
Yeah, he caught it and he was down to the 1.
Oh my god, I nearly shit my pants watching.
but we got the taste of our medicine against the Dolphins, but they just costed the Dolphins top 10 pick and we still won a Super Bowl, so suck it.
And they still will celebrate that stupid ass Miami Miracle as if that's their Super Bowl. Congrats, guys.
Yeah, it's the biggest win they've had in a long time. Although I think they're winning the division this year, but we'll get to that in our NFL roundtable again.
Big Miami Dolphin wins because wow.
My points don't differ from Ryan really. The defense I felt played the usual bend don't break, and Zach Wilson gave them ample opportunities, and I think for the most part they kind of took those opportunities. Christian Gonzalez, we're going to get into a little bit later, looked great again against another stud receiver. I share his concern with Ramondre Stevenson. He was a great running back last year. He did everything he asked him to. I think he went over 1,000 yards. Like Ramondre was the man in 2022, and he was the man in his rookie season when he got the snaps. I'm really hoping that he can get right back on track, and I really want to see more Demario Douglas. Like, give me more pop. Give me more pop. He's the biggest playmaker you got on that field. Give him all of Juju's snaps. I want him to have all of Juju's opportunities and all of Juju's snaps.
If you're not going to play Juju, put in Kayshon Boutte.
I want to see more of him. I saw a lot of him week 1. He was playing that Devontae Parker role, and I'm like, he's not quite what Devontae Parker does.
No, well, he's a different skill set. He's more like Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, he's a younger Kendrick Bourne. Yeah,
a little more athletic than Bourne, though. I'd say. Like, you know what? I gotta say this as well. I was holding this in. I wanted to bring this up, but since it's not about the Patriots, it's about the Jets. I'm gonna skewer Zach Wilson, man, because I legitimately think this guy is one of the worst quarterbacks I have ever watched in my life.
Nathan Peterman bad.
Like Nathan Peterman bad.
That's pretty bad.
Dude, I just saw that Zach Wilson is the second most inefficient quarterback since 2014.
Who's the first?
And the only guy that was worse than him is Josh Rosen.
Oh, brutal. The chosen Rosen.
Yeah. Second overall draft pick, by the way.
And so Rosen or Wilson?
Wilson.
Yeah, I was going to say Rosen was like 7.
Rosen was 10. 9 or 10. And I think even Jets fans agree with me. And I'm reading a lot of reports saying that like the New York Jets locker room is bound to explode at any minute. because of how Zach Wilson is playing. They do not like this guy. They can talk in the media all they want about like, oh, well, Zach's our guy. The ESPN reporters at the New York Jets, Rich Cimini, I think, or Cimini, I don't know how to say his name, Rich Cimini, I think it is, said that the locker room is bound to explode at any minute because they do not like Zach Wilson there.
And Robert Saleh is like doing a me with Jimmy Garoppolo, just apologizing for him and still sticking him out there.
He is in love with Zach Wilson. He's just not. No, he gives us the best chance to win. It's like, as compared to who? Putting me at the starting quarterback position? Because I'm now. I've read this, like Colin Kaepernick sent them a letter.
That was funny. That was funny. He's on his hands and knees begging.
Yeah. What are we? The Notebook? I'm sending letters to each other.
Yeah.
But no, let's. He's not the answer. But Zach Wilson, I don't think is.
Honestly, Colin Kaepernick, 6, 7, 8 years removed from the league, probably gives them a better chance to win than Zach Wilson.
Unironically, yeah. Like, you know what? If I'm the New York Jets, man, here's something that we can talk about. If I'm the Jets, I would call up Minnesota if they lose and say, listen, Kirk Cousins is a free agent at the end of the year. We cannot continue with this fucking guy, Zach Wilson, and you guys are 0-4. Let's do something here.
What do you think Kirk Cousins' value is worth nowadays? Because I don't know if the Jets have the assets.
Just straight up, Zach Wilson.
If you're desperate enough, they could throw first. I wouldn't do it, not for Kirk Cousins, but desperation's a motherfucker, man. Like,
I don't know if Minnesota does it.
Oh,
that NFC North is so open. Like, I'm not impressed with Detroit, really. I'm not really impressed with. I mean, Green Bay is solid, but like, I'm still not.
Listen, Jordan Love is here.
Oh, Jordan Love is amazing. I'm floored at how good he is. But we'll get to the Jets roundtable a little bit.
Yeah, I've just floated that as just something like
something to watch.
Makes sense for both teams, and with the state of where they're at.
And that's our Patriots reset. Zoe, if you want to give a little Cowboys a little sample before we, unless you have Patriots takes. If you have Patriots takes, please.
I want to jump in on a Patriots take real quick if I can. They're playing just good enough. Their first two losses by 5 and by 7, to the freaking Eagles, who've been probably the class of the NFC, them in San Francisco, and to the Dolphins, who just put up 70 on fucking Denver. They might be just kind of treading water right now. And if Mac Jones can catch, lightning in a bottle somewhere, we can somehow. I mean, you and I had this conversation, Caleb, about Mac Jones. Is he the problem? I didn't think he was last year. Right now, he's got to really just step it up. I didn't. I remember last year we talked about it. I said I didn't think he was a problem. I thought it was Matt Patricia. Okay. He's got to be the solution now, though. If you're going to take that next step, it's right now that you take it. It's right now. Your defense is keeping you in every fucking game. You've got to be the reason you're winning now. I don't care who they put around you. You've got to take that next step. So their defense is really good. Again, it kept them in both their first 2 games. Now, arguably should have won that first game. The Eagles did not play that well, and the Patriots did play well.
They had the ball in the last couple minutes. They had it twice to put it away, and in the Dolphins game, I feel like they had it 5 times to put it away, and they never did. Me and Ryan talked about this last week on our Mac Jones conversation, and I basically bring the same thing you said. Okay, you got your new offensive coordinator. And I get it. It's a big turnaround, but you're a first-round pick for a reason. You're supposed to handle this adversity. You're supposed to elevate your teammates. Like I said, last year is a mulligan. I throw it away. I take nothing away for 2022. Ryan feels a little differently about that, but that's fine. 2023, By the end of the year, I want to know. I want to see the comeback win. I want to see you put up 30 points a couple times. I want to see you elevate this cast up further than it's supposed to be. Because, as much kind of crap as we give guys like Kirk Cousins and Matt Ryan, who he was compared to coming out of college, Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins every now and again can elevate the talent around them, or at least they did in their prime. Matt Ryan, especially for that latter part. Matt Ryan nowadays probably doesn't do a whole lot with this cast anymore. But Matt Ryan in his prime, you put him in New England, this is a 10-11 win team.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, the Falcons were never really terrible with Matt Ryan. If they had a solid defense, they were a contender for the playoffs for their division. And I get it, the NFC South is atrocious, but the Falcons were a team to consider as long as they had Matt Ryan, who was a top 10 to 13 quarterback. Kirk Cousins, same deal. Kirk Cousins is sometimes a borderline top 10 quarterback. And I said this again. I said another point last week, Enzo, just to kind of recap for you here. I said that for all of the shit we give Jimmy Garoppolo, he probably has this team at 2-1 or 3-0. With all of those opportunities, Jimmy, for all of his faults, for his stupid decisions and his lack of arm talent, because let's face it, Jimmy G isn't the greatest ball thrower ever, but he has he has a little bit of a clutch gene that he's able to pull out these games more often than not. I mean, that Steelers-Raiders game on Sunday Night Football, if Josh McDaniels wasn't an idiot and goes for it on fourth down, who says that they don't score?
Yeah.
And and again, you can point to Super Bowl 54 all you want and give me all the crap you want. I'll eat it, and that's fine. I've ate it before.
Emmanuel
that's why.
Sanders.
Shut the fuck up. Sorry, Nana. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy, more often than not, I mean, he has countless comeback wins, countless fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, he probably has this team at 2-1 or 3-0. He wins one of those games. And Mac, he just hasn't pulled it off yet. And by the end of 2023, I want to see him do it.
Now, I have a question for both of you, and this is going to be a take that I'll get shit on for the rest of my life, and that's okay. Who has been, and I don't know the answer to this. I know this year it's Daniel Hackett, but who's been Zach Wilson's OC in New York past couple of years?
So before Hackett,
Mike LaFleur.
Yeah, the pass game coordinator for San Francisco back in the day.
Okay. Now, has Robert Saleh ever been a part of developing a quarterback?
No.
He's been defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think Zach Wilson is salvageable, but not in New York. I think Robert Saleh, like Aaron Rodgers, was a perfect fit. They did not need to develop him. He was going to show up and ball out. I think Zach Wilson needs to go somewhere. They need to trade him to somewhere where they develop quarterbacks. I would venture to guess that if they said, hey, let's ship him out to Denver, say, Sean Payton, see what you can do with this guy. And if Sean Payton can't develop him, he's a lost cause. But I think Russ has already lost in Denver. He is who we thought he was. That's him in Denver right now. Zach Wilson, I'm not sure is a lost cause completely. He's probably a backup somewhere, at best at this point in his career. But I don't think he's as bad as New York is making him look. I think I don't think he's got the right.
No, the coaching staff with the Jets are just a bunch of airheads. Like, yeah. I can't take any of them seriously. Like, I liked Robert Saleh in San Francisco, but maybe he's just a really energetic defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
that might just be who he is. And Nathaniel Hackett needs Aaron Rodgers. He's an Aaron Rodgers merchant, just like Ryan would say Josh McDaniels is about Tom Brady. He's a Tom Brady merchant. Nathaniel Hackett only looked good when he has Aaron Rodgers.
See, and therein lies the problem when you get these high draft picks, and I'll include Mac Jones in this, okay? They go to teams who need a quarterback. There's a reason they need a quarterback. I mean, there's something missing. In the Jets case, it's clearly the coaching staff around a quarterback. in New England. They haven't been that. I don't know if Mac Jones hasn't had the pieces around him, or if the coaching's been bad around him. I mean,
In
let's just call it
2022, the coaching was definitely the issue. I
Yes.
think we had plenty of talent in 2022 to make a playoff run, and we were a game out.
Yeah.
And he made the playoffs with Josh McDaniels. I get that 7-game win streak that we had in the middle of the season was kind of Mickey Mouse. We got a lot of injured teams, a lot of bad quarterbacks, but we pulled out the wins. We went 10-7. We made the playoffs, got absolutely slammed by Buffalo, but we kind of expected that. 2022, we were a game out with Matt Patricia as our OC.
Yeah, and that was just a really.
And now we have
bad
Bill
call.
O'Brien, who I love. I mean, the offense looks better. Just like it flows better, the plays are better. It's just something's not clicking, and I wish I knew what it was, but it looks better. I think Ryan can say the offense looks much better than it does last year.
Better in comparison to Matt Patricia for sure. Here's my thing, and just going back to Zoe about Zach Wilson and stuff, and this is what I argued about with Mac Jones. The first few years of a quarterback's development are the most important, right?
Yeah.
Because if you start out in the wrong foot, how often do you truly bounce back from it when you look throughout guys' careers? A lot of them end up becoming, they start out in dog shit situations, right? How many of them truly end up becoming better than, they live up to their expectations? And you look at how Kansas City handled Patrick Mahomes, for example. They sat him for a year behind Alex Smith. You can make the argument that Mahomes right away would have been better than Alex Smith at the time, but they sat him for a year. Green Bay, when they had Brett Favre, they took this raw but super talented quarterback named Aaron Rodgers. Sat him for 3 years. Then when it was time, Aaron Rodgers came at the gate firing with fully developed, or way more developed, obviously.
I think he had one tough year when he first started, and then the second year was lights out.
Yeah. And you look at, the Packers did the same cycle again with Jordan Love. Now look at him.
And now Jordan Love looks amazing.
Raw.
He looks brilliant.
Yeah, and when he was coming out of Utah State, it was super raw. He has all the tools, but lack of accuracy, lack of really poor mechanics, bad decisions, and now he's 2-1 as a starter. He's looked really good. And so my point is that when you put a guy into the, when you draft a guy, right? And there's a reason why a lot of these teams pick high. And I look at someone like Justin Fields, for example, who's been a massive disappointment.
He's a bust. I'll say it right now. I'm confident that he's a bust.
I'm very close. I'm really close to declaring him a draft bust, and it really disappoints me that it's come to this point. But the Bears have been nothing but a massive clown show from the day he got there. And you look at teams, like expansion teams, for example, right? I look at the Cleveland Browns in the late 90s when they came back to the NFL. They draft Tim Couch. This is their first ever draft pick coming back. What happened to Tim Couch? He's a massive failure.
Yep.
Why? Because you're a fucking expansion team. Your team is shit, and you're throwing this guy into the fire saying, hey, save us. He's a rookie. Carr. Yeah, David Carr in Houston. You throw these guys into the fire. And that was my point with Mac Jones.
Sacked. I think he had more sacks than incompletion in some games.
He became punch drunk. And that's my worry with Mac Jones is last year, his rookie year, really great situation. As much as I shit on Josh McDaniels.
Great OC. He's a great OC.
He's an
great
awesome
play
OC.
caller. Yeah.
The Patriots roster in 2021, really good. His second year, you fucking get the two stooges as your OCs. And he fucking regresses. And now in his third year, we talk about Bill O'Brien. I think the offenses look better, right? We know it looks better. I'm concerned about the offensive line still hitting Mac, beating the shit out of the guy. And it's going to get to a point, and that's why I don't think he's the future, is because you're fucking with his development so early in his career. And we talk about Zach Wilson, right? The Jets immediately threw him into the fire. They did the same thing with Sam Darnold. You throw these guys into the fire, You're a shit team for a fucking reason, and your young quarterbacks look like shit.
Yeah, we're pissed about Sam
Shocker.
Darnold to this day, though. Me and Ryan were big Sam Darnold truthers when he was coming out.
I
Sam
wasn't,
you know
I
what?
wasn't sold on him, but I don't think he's as bad as you.
I think if he played in
He
San
got screwed
Francisco,
right away.
he'd get a new contract.
Yeah.
If he played, like, he would be amazing.
You know, if I'm drafting a really highly touted rookie, I honestly I would sit them behind a well-regarded veteran. And I think the Carolina Panthers right now should do that with Andy Dalton. Start Andy Dalton over Bryce Young for a little bit. Let Bryce get more.
Not like the
active.
Panthers are going to win anything this year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I was higher on the Panthers than I should have been, like an idiot in the preseason previews, because I really believe in Bryce Young. I do, but
I think he's too small.
I think the Panthers should start Andy Dalton for the year. Let Bryce bulk up, continue to grow and stuff. And I know they're not going to because they traded all the shit for him, but logically you're gonna fucking ruin the guy. And that's
the Packers traded a lot for Jordan Love, and
and they did the right thing with him, and now he's great. And
listen, I don't know if I don't know if that really applies with Mac because one, he played so well his rookie year. I mean,
that's the thing.
If were you gonna play Cam Newton? Like, were you gonna play Cam Newton all of 2021?
No, my point, because like I said, his rookie year was great.
Yeah,
but they also put him in the right spot to succeed his rookie year. You know what I mean? In his I'm talking about they fucked with his development his sophomore year, and it's looking like in his junior year basically. Third year I should say. With the O-line like this year, if you're gonna make this guy your guy, you gotta fucking protect him. Otherwise, he's just gonna end up punch drunk. He's gonna run it. Like, he's looked poised so far, but I think over the time as the hits pile up and stuff, it happened to Eli Manning. I remember, by the end of his career, the guy would he was really skittish and shit in the pocket. He made bad decisions. He took a lot of dumb sacks. Made a lot of dumb decisions, and Giants fans were wanting him gone because the guy was just fried from all the hits he took. You can't take that much abuse in the NFL. You just can't. And so my whole point's more about the O-line being terrible, and it's going to fuck Mac Jones up. So I don't know. I'm worried about that. And I think Mac's looked pretty good this year, but I don't think the O-line's going to hold over time. And that's where my concern is.
I can't believe that I didn't. Hold on, I didn't block out a segment for a Mac Jones conversation because we had one last week, but here we are.
Well,
it's gonna be a topic.
If you look at the 21 draft, you have Trevor Lawrence, and then you have freaking Zach Wilson, then you have Trey Lance, then you've got Justin Fields, and you've got Mac Jones. And
we don't know.
Trevor Lawrence was this. He's Andrew Luck. He's Peyton Manning. He walked in ready made. You know what I mean?
Even look at Trevor Lawrence. Sorry to interrupt, though. His first year, right? Who did the Jaguars hire his first year?
Urban Meyer.
Urban fucking Meyer. One of the worst coaching decisions.
People forget about that. People forget that Trevor Lawrence came into the league with Urban Meyer.
And you know what the Jaguars did his second year? They made things right away. They're like, okay, you know what? We're going to hire Doug Peterson. He's a quarterback guru. That's what he's known for. We're going to get weapons around him. We're going to build our offense around Trevor Lawrence. And they salvaged him. And, you look at other examples, though, they fucking, teams always end up kind of tanking it, or they blow it so badly with these guys. And the things with Lawrence, though, is he was a once in a generation talent.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than a great, highly touted quarterback, but not a generational guy.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at is that you've got these guys who are once in a generation talents. You could drop them anywhere, and they're going to end up performing. Then you got everyone else who, if you're drafted in the first round as a quarterback, you are always going to be a project because those teams needed you. You weren't good to begin with. And so to call all these other players busts, we're in year 3, guys. I'm not sure that there's busts yet. I think like
I do.
mentioned
I think
Ryan
Lance
mentioned
is.
Justin Fields and the shit show that's been Chicago with him. Okay. Trey Lance had one start and got injured, and they're like, oh, he's a bust. He got one fucking start and got injured.
I think he was trash to begin with, to tell you the truth.
I don't think he was. I think.
Well,
I
you're towing that party line now because he's Dak's backup. I see
No,
I see your angles though.
Here's the thing, and by the way, I think he's third string in Dallas. He's not even second string.
Oh Jesus!
I think San Francisco gave up on him way too quickly. Brock Purdy's good. He's good. Okay, but I think San Francisco said, "Oh, again, guys, one fucking start coming back from injury this year." They're like, "Oh, he didn't play well in the preseason." Well, dude, he's coming back from an injury, and it's a catastrophic injury at that. You know, I mean, I think Dallas has a good trade chip with him. That's what it is.
If they turn him into something, yeah.
Get him somewhere where they can develop a quarterback, and you might have something still. Raw talent. That's what he is. He's raw talent. And what if I don't think Dallas has the wherewithal to develop him. You know, I think they're going to go with Dak come hell or high water, which we'll talk about in a bit. That if they find a team who can develop him. Now, if he ends up, let's trade him straight up for Zach Wilson, he's going to stink anyways because the Jets can't develop a quarterback. They can't develop a quarterback, you know. And so I think we're calling everyone busts too quickly. And I think the only one who from that draft class who was ready made was Trevor Lawrence, and you know he's shown that he's going to be the real deal. Everyone else, I think, including Mac Jones, I don't think Mac Jones is a bust. I think he's been put in shit situations. You know, but now he's been put in a situation where now he has to show he's the answer, which sucks. It sucks.
But that kind of leads on to my point, right? These guys become busts because the situations fuck them, right?
Or they're not
good. You just get to a point where you can never recover.
There is also a not good factor, which applies to Zach Wilson and Trey Lance.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at Justin Fields, right?
Yeah, like they just not good at football. I mean, all I needed to know about Trey Lance was his rookie season. He's a top 3 pick. To put yourself in 2021, Trey Lance is a top 3 pick. We're in week 14. Your first round pick, okay? He's on the bench waiting for Garoppolo to be done. Garoppolo tears his thumb and he breaks his shoulder in different games. This is in your home stretch of the playoffs here. You need to be almost perfect to make the playoffs, because you remember the Niners that year. They weren't fantastic. They were really riding the waves. And the 49ers would have rather played a broken Jimmy Garoppolo with the broken shoulder, the torn thumb, the busted foot, probably a knee issue too. They would rather play him than their first round pick, who they traded everything for.
Yeah, they did.
That's all I needed to know about Trey Lance right there. That's all I needed to know.
All I needed to know about how San Francisco viewed Trey Lance was leading up to the draft, and I think a lot of people forget this. It was going to be Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm. They got bullied into not taking.
They seriously did. John Lynch got bullied because Kyle Shanahan, who, and I hate using this guy as a source because I'm not a fan of his content, but Chris Sims, who is best friends with Kyle Shanahan, all draft cycle, it's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. Who do you think he's hearing that from? He's hearing it from Kyle Shanahan, who he knows. And all of a sudden, a few days before the draft, it's Trey Lance. Oh, it's bringing me Trey Lance. That just tells me they got bullied because Mac Jones, before the draft, was viewed as the safe option, the boring, vanilla. And Trey Lance has the upside, the intangibles.
I never saw
raw project. I viewed Trey Lance as kind of I thought he was gonna at his best become a Ryan Tannehill maybe. Where
you were a lot higher than I thought he was awful.
But that's not really a compliment to me. Ryan Tannehill's mid.
No, but I mean Tannehill. I mean he played some really good football.
Yeah, he's been in the playoffs more often than not.
Really good for Ryan Tannehill is
When he was like, if he could stay healthy, I mean, when he was in Miami, he was fine, but he just never stayed healthy. Then he went to Tennessee,
Trey Lance
and
had
he's
the
a
same
winner.
kind of like similar profile to Ryan Tannehill, though.
No, yeah, super
college.
athletic and I thought
They're
he was
raw. Ryan
I'm just saying,
Tannehill
I
was
thought he
really
was
raw.
garbage. I thought he was garbage coming out, and Ryan can attest to how much I hated him as a prospect.
Well, I still hate him.
I still hate him.
Huge on Trey Lance, quite frankly.
He was like QB. Like I think there were second round quarterbacks I like more than Trey Lance.
Yeah, my guys were Lawrence and Fields, and Fields. Justin.
I swore by Mac day one. That was my take. I was swearing by Mac Jones day one.
I wanted Justin Fields so badly, man, and it's
I know.
Like, wow,
it's kind of annoying about it.
Yeah, listen, it is what it is. I hope he bounces back, but man, it's looking like he's going to become a draft bust with the way Chicago is incompetent, and it's not pretty. It's just not pretty there. And that's the quarterback conversation.
There we go. You got part 2 of the Mac Jones conversation with the Big Zo. But let's try to make this next segment quick because we about used half our time here.
Sorry.
Patriots another first round rookie. Quarterback Christian Gonzalez has had a great 3 weeks of football to start his career. Not only has he played good football, he's been doing it facing the likes of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Garrett Wilson. I mean, that's not an easy welcome to the league, but he's had big-time pass breakups and an incredibly athletic interception in week 2 to keep the Pats in the game versus Miami. Ryan pitched the question, is it too early to call him a defensive rookie of the year candidate? Ryan, I will let you set up the window dressing here.
No, it's not too early. It's kind of objectively looking like Gonzalez is going to be the rookie of the year defensively. He was ranked 5th on PFF, 5th amongst all cornerbacks. As a rookie, he is 21 years old. He just turned 21 before the season started, like back in June or whatever, before camp started. This is a young guy out there dominating against some of the league's very best. And when you put on the film, it's hard not to see comparisons to Stephon Gilmore, quite frankly. Very smooth, very athletic, elite in man coverage. Not a whole lot of talking, just a lot of work. And Bill Belichick himself compared, Christian Gonzalez to Stephon Gilmore in the sense of, they're very just calm, quiet presences. They don't jaw at guys. They're just out there. They do their work, and they're silent assassins. Just pure man.
Unlike J.C. Jackson, who can't stay out of jail.
Freaks. Hey, what?
Unlike J.C. Jackson, who can't stay out of jail.
Yeah.
Or
that report's interesting.
Or Xavier Howard, who can't keep his pants up. So,
no, was there something with Xavier Howard?
Dude, he's got like 4 girls pregnant right now.
Yeah, fuck, man. Antonio Cromartie simulator, Philip Rivers. Actually, no, not Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers has a woman. That's the Antonio Cromartie simulator right there.
Yeah, no. How many kids do you have that I know of?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just saying, Caleb, I don't know if you can.
No, I heard. I had my AirPods in.
Yeah. I really think as of right now, he is a defensive rookie of the year. And these are not easy guys, as you brought up. These are like legitimate, like all these guys are top 20 receivers, bona fide.
Like all pro receiver level stuff.
Yeah. And he's clamping them.
I know that his debut was a little more up and down, I think. But he's been rock solid week 2 and week 3.
His film against Garrett Wilson, man. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, he kept up with
step for step. There was a whip route that Garrett Wilson ran, right? And Gonzalez just read it the entire way, shut it down before Wilson could even kind of get off his break. It was this guy is an all-pro caliber football player as a rookie. And I'm not saying that lightly either. Or, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, I should say. This guy is a superstar.
And we were shaky coming into the season after a weird preseason. We're like, oh, we don't know how good he's going to be out the gate. But
hey, you know what? They just found themselves 21-year-old Stephon Gilmore.
And hopefully we fucking give him a new
Pay him.
contract. Yeah,
Give him a second contract. Pay this guy.
But Zoe, what do you have any thoughts on Gonzo?
I don't know much. I don't know much about him, but listening to you guys talk and then watching who he's faced, and we just talked about how the Patriots defense has been
rock solid,
damn impressive this year. And this guy having to face AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Garrett Wilson. Just hearing that and talking about how the Patriots defense has kept them in game, and dude, yeah, he's got to be up there defensive rookie of the year candidate discussion at least. The only thing I have is that we're 3 weeks in, so I think you got to let it go about halfway through the season and see where we're at that point. 3 weeks in, you can say this. Halfway through the season, people catch up to who you are and your tendencies, and then they start attacking the bad tendencies you have. So sure. Look at weeks 8 through 10 at that point and look back and say, okay, is he still that guy, or have they caught on to, hey, he breaks on the ball too quickly. He's always looking at the quarterback. We don't know yet. But if they were going to vote today at who he's faced and what the defense has done, yeah, sure, yep.
I mean, fair enough. I think though that even on draft day, everyone was talking how did the Patriots get this guy? This is the guy that's supposed
to. They
to
traded down too.
Yeah,
and another team took a corner.
Emmanuel Forbes went ahead of him. Emmanuel Forbes did not look great versus Buffalo.
I thought he was a second round talent.
And that I will say, this is, speaking of Buffalo, this is the true litmus test for Christian Gonzalez to know if he's for real, because I think he is for real. If you shut down Stephon Diggs twice a year, who's been giving the Patriots hell since the day
J.C. Jackson couldn't do it once.
If you can lock him down twice this year, twice a year, I should. Yeah, this guy is the fucking truth. I already think he's the fucking truth, but he'd be really the fucking truth if he could do it.
I remember how disappointed you were that we didn't get Devin Witherspoon.
Well, I mean, Witherspoon went top 5 though, and Witherspoon's been great from what I've heard. Seattle fits him perfectly as well, where he's just, because they let their cornerbacks. Seattle loves their psychotic cornerbacks that just throw.
Let him get away with murder. Yeah.
Psychotic quarterback. Yeah.
He'll lead the charge with the new Legion and Boom up there. Him and Tariq Woolen. That's a nasty dude.
I like both of them, but I was always a bigger Gonzo guy. I just thought super fluid, super athletic.
I liked Gonzo. I kind of just love psychotic cornerbacks.
So you wanted another Brandon Browner.
To be fair, when you grow up on you look at the Patriots history, right? And you see guys like Ty Law and all that shit just mugging and get away with murder in the press man. Yeah.
Or Marvin Harrison.
I kind of love those guys.
Now we know where Marvin Harrison developed that killer instinct, if you know what I mean.
Killer instinct.
Allegedly.
Anyways, that was your Gonzo minute. Now we move on to our weekly, annual, whatever you want to call it, the Week 4 NFL Roundtable. As usual, there's a lot going on around the league. The preseason favorites for the first overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals, knocked off those Cowboys last week. Who saw that coming? The Dolphins dropped 70 points on the Broncos. You didn't hear me wrong. 70. Derek Carr has gone down with an injury. Looks like it's going to be week to week. The Saints might be a little bit of trouble, though, since they actually have to play Jameis Winston this week against the Buccaneers. And as we mentioned earlier and harped on and spent a lot of time on, the New York Jets seem to be on the edge of implosion as Robert Saleh is coming off as a Zach Wilson apologist. He's not really willing to go sign a veteran. They asked Matt Ryan to come out of retirement. He said, I'm cool. Yeah, it's been a crazy NFL season so far, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts league-wide. Zoe, since you're not a Patriots fan, you have a little bit more of an outsider's perspective, maybe a keener idea of what's going on outside of Foxboro here. Let's see what your takeaways are from week 3.
All right, a couple things. The Broncos are on the verge of losing their season. They've got I think 4 of their next 5 games are against the Chiefs and some damn good teams. I think they got the Bears coming up if I'm not mistaken, but that's their only winnable game coming up. So they're on the verge of being 0-6 or 0-7 here before they even know it, and they're done. I think Russ is done in Denver. They've got they're going to have to eat a lot of money with him. I think he just doesn't look right anymore. He just we were talking before the show. He just looks like he's lost not a half step. He's lost a full step. 5 years ago he'd escape the pocket. He'd be able to make the throw on the run. Nowadays he's trying to escape the pocket and getting tripped up. It just doesn't. It's not the same quarterback. Pete Carroll knew something that no one else did. And he actually looks really smart for going with Geno fucking Smith. Who'd have thought that, right? The Dolphins are really good. Okay. Dallas, who would have seen that coming? I don't know anyone saw it coming, but Dallas has these games every year.
I think me and Ryan said it last week. Like, yeah, this is a game that Dallas would lose.
Yes. Certified Cowboys moment.
And this is a game they would lose. So, guys, Dallas, for as much as everyone thought, they're this and that this year, dude, they've scored. They have scored, and I brought this up here. On offense, they have scored 6 touchdowns. Okay. They're not all that. They're not all that. They've got three passing. I'm sorry, no, they've scored it's been 6 touchdowns, 3 passing and 3 rushing, and then they've scored 2 on defense and special teams. Dak has only thrown for 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 215 yards passing a game. They haven't been lighting it up, guys. They're not as good as the scores indicated. They've hit 10 field goals. When your drives start stalling and you just have to kick field goals, you're going to end up losing games. That's what happened this past weekend. Their drives stalled. They kicked field goals, and you cannot trade field goals for touchdowns in this league. It's just not the way it works in any league, right? Even in college, we'll score field goals. We'll give them touchdowns. Ask Josh McDaniels how that worked this past weekend.
I can't believe he did that.
So Dallas is not as good as we've thought. Okay, and losing Trayvon Diggs surely did not help that cause.
That's for the season. That's for the year, right?
Yeah, he's out. ACL tear in practice.
Oh, in practice. Hate it.
So yeah, the Cardinals are not any good. For Dallas to lose today, it says more about Dallas than it does for Arizona. And I was telling my dad a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, hey, I can't wait to see Dak in mid-season form. He's like, what do you mean? And I go, start throwing picks. That's who he is. It's who he is, And so, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm one of your rare, really stable ones. I see it, and I'm like, this is what's going to happen. He's going to start throwing picks. The defense is going to get tired of propping up the offense because that's what's happening. And unfortunately, midseason form seems to have started in week 3 this year for the Cowboys. The Jets, they're going to implode. If they can't fix this, I'd say week 10 or 11, hot take here, Robert Saleh loses his job.
I still don't think he'll be the first coach fired, though.
I don't know if he will or won't, but he'll lose
my
job.
pick for my pick for first coach fired?
What's that?
Brandon Staley and with the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Chargers are going to be a 5-win team. I really do. I think they're going to be that bad. And I said it in the preseason.
They should have lost. That decision to go for it on 4th down, whereas on their own 20 or something like that, or 30. What the fuck?
Yeah. By the way, an early pick for Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell.
They've overachieved.
Yes, I mean what he's doing with that team, and he's rejuvenated freaking Jared Goff. I like what he's doing.
I think I picked Kevin O'Connell. That's not working out for me, is it?
Yeah.
Are the Lions best team in the NFL? No. But damn, the job Dan Campbell's doing, just hyping them up. They go to every game thinking we can win, which you need to have. And right now, the opposite of that is Robert Saleh with the Jets. They go in every game saying, "Can we win?" I mean, and like I said, Caleb, he's setting them up for that. His love fest with Zach Wilson is going to be his downfall.
And he's an airhead. I just don't think he's that smart. Like, I don't think Bob Sala is a smart guy. Like, I watched Hard Knocks. He comes off as a kind of a dopey dude who's just like, oh, yeah, man, I love me some football. I love Zach Wilson. This guy, he's so fast. That linebacker, he hits so hard. I love it. Like, do you have like anything smart to say? And then you see Nathaniel Hackett, and he's just this, foaming at the mouth, kind of rabid kind of dude. And their defensive coordinator is just like Dan Campbell, but with multiple misdemeanors for petty theft. I mean, have you seen this guy? He looks like he hangs outside of a liquor store waiting for it to close so he can break into it.
A liquor store, that's funny.
Um,
So that's my take. Yeah, going into week 4, guys. That's my take.
yeah, Ryan, you got anything
I do, yeah.
league wide? Go for it.
I've got to say that
Try not to piss me off.
The Packers are. I think the Packers are going to win the NFC North. I truly.
Why do you say
believe
that?
I think they've been playing really great football, man. Like they just. And I know they lost versus the Falcons. The Falcons kind of had their little Mickey Mouse run, and then the Lions evaporated it. The Lion. It's going to come down to Green Bay versus Detroit this year. Chicago's a clown show. Minnesota's 0-3. And, I'm going to bring up Minnesota next when we're talking about this, but I think that Green Bay will own Detroit. And we'll talk about it because the Thursday, Packers Lions. I just think the division's theirs for the taking. I'm a big believer in Jordan Love. I've always kind of defended him because a lot of people shit on him. I understand why, but Matt LaFleur is a really good coach.
Oh yeah,
I never got the criticisms. Green Bay's always had great defenses and stuff, and their young receivers. They were doing this without Christian Watson, mind you. They're getting him back.
To go along with Jordan Reed and Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed.
Jaden, yeah. Not George. It would not be legal to let Jordan Reed step on a football field again, man.
I totally forgot about Jordan Reed. Oh,
so many
God.
concussions, man. Oh my God, no, keep him off, please, no. But yeah, no, and you know what? While we're at it, as I said, Minnesota, they should tank for Caleb Williams.
Well, there's a lot of teams out there who are trying to tank for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Chicago and Denver are.
Listen, Chicago and what? And while we're at it with Denver, but here's I'm gonna bring Minnesota first though. Kirk Cousins is playing really well, and you're still 0-3. And this is a team I was high on, and it's to a point where it's like, okay, he's a free agent at the end of the year. What's your end game? Kirk Cousins is 35 years old, I think he turns 30. I think he just turned 35, actually, yeah. So what's your end game with this guy? You're 0-3 right now. He's still playing really well. Trade him and bottom out. Get yourself a true franchise quarterback. You get Justin Jefferson. You get Jordan Addison. Obviously the running game is a fucking disaster post Dalvin Cook. The defense has been yeah, I was hoping it'd be much better under Flores. It really hasn't been all that great. Yeah, I blow it up in Minnesota. If you lose this week, trade Kirk Cousins. And then my last point about Denver is I think we saw the worst in Denver. They're going to get better. How much better? I couldn't tell you, but not 70 fucking points dropped on your head bad. That is one of the worst losses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In any sport, and that includes college, because in college football you'll see like these fucking teams will drop 80 points or whatever on some random FCS team. That's expected. This is like, oh my God, the Dolphins did what to you? I had Devon Achane on my bench, man. Fucking 50 points in fantasy.
4 touchdowns.
Like, you made that guy look like 06 LaDainian Tomlinson.
Fucking Raheem Mostert looked great.
Raheem Mostert. Everybody at Miami popped off, and this is without Jalen Waddle. But do I think they're that bad as a football team? And they're 0-3, but no, I don't think they're that bad. I think you know, do I think this is a spark of like a big old run for Denver where it's like they're going to hoist the Lombardi at the end of the year? No. But Sean Payton's too good of a head coach for this team to be this embarrassing. And Russell Wilson, I don't know how great he is anymore.
He's not
I
great
will
anymore.
say I did see some promising things from him, even though they got their asses whooped as a passer. Now, Zoe, you brought up a good point. You can't do any of that mobility shit anymore. But
No.
as a pure passer, he still has his arm. He can still dot up some good deep balls. Denver, they have a great weapons cast. They need to play Marvin Mims more there, by the way. That guy, I was reading up on him. This guy, everywhere he's gone's been elite. Play him more. You got Jerry
And
Jeudy
you
back
do that.
injury.
You do that by trading Jerry Jeudy to New England.
Yeah. Or just play Jerry Jeudy a lot more as well. Yeah,
I'd rather my option.
well, so do I, but that's not happening.
Are you sure?
So yeah, I think Denver is going to be better. Those are my 3 takes. Packers win the North, Minnesota should tank, and Denver will get better.
I want to go real quick on the Denver thing. It's not just their offense regressing. They gave up a 5 to Washington the week before. I mean, they did well against the Raiders the week before that, and they lost by a point, but they gave up 35 to the Commanders. The Commanders are not good. They made Sam Howell look like the second coming of fucking Joe Montana.
And then Sam Howell played a real defense the next week.
And he just tore him up, And so the defense was supposed to be Denver's strong point. They've given up 105 points over 2 weeks. I'm more worried right now. If I'm Denver, I'm worried. Okay, yeah, Russ, not the same guy, but where the hell is our defense? If I'm Denver, that's what I'm starting to wonder. Did they give up already on Sean Payton?
Well, Vance Joseph should be fired. Like, it's amazing he continues to get coaching jobs with the most due respect to him. That guy's not a good coach. It's fucking trash. His defenses have always been trash. I was floored when Denver hired him to be their head coach because I remember he was Miami's defensive coordinator the year before, and the Patriots, who normally, against Miami, it's a little bit of a hit or miss, even in the Brady era, massacred Miami both times that year. Once was under Garoppolo, even though Garoppolo played like a half and got hurt or whatever.
3 quarters, damn it.
Yeah, he fucked up his shoulder, but like LeGarrette Blount was
Alonzo, by the way, should be recognized as a terrorist for everything he's done to quarterbacks.
Alonzo.
That was a bit of a greasy hit.
That started Jimmy Garoppolo's injury history.
Yeah. Thanks, Kiko. But yeah, no
fly list, that motherfucker.
But
anyway,
I remember that last game of the season, Patriots Dolphins. Man, the Patriots curb stomped them.
Michael
in
Floyd,
Miami.
that block.
That's the house of horrors for New England, and they curb stomped them.
Not just in Miami, but like week 18 in Miami when it's freezing cold up here and it's nice and 80 down there.
Yeah. That's when I knew, like, oh my god, Vance Joseph should not be a head coach. And wow, Denver hired him to be their head coach, and then Denver didn't learn from their fucking mistakes clearly because they brought him back.
Well, that was a Sean Payton hire.
It was, but still.
And remember, they thought
from New Orleans.
They thought that they really thought that they were going to get shit if they hired Vic Fangio again.
I'd have brought him back over Vance Joseph.
Hire someone from New Orleans if you're going to do that. Like
Buddy Ryan. No, not Buddy Ryan. Who's the other one? Rob Ryan. Ryan.
No, bring Greg Williams and do the
Greg Williams.
What's Bounty Gate guy doing nowadays?
Isn't he? He's still
like
around, isn't he?
USFL or some shit, isn't he?
He's still around.
Yeah.
He can get a job.
I kind of want to look that up. I'm looking that up right now. Where is Greg
they should have? You know what? They should have asked Wade Phillips to come. Wade Phillips can coach a defense.
Is he with the Rams?
Wade Phillips even.
No, Wade Phillips is coaching.
Greg Williams
or some shit.
Greg Williams is currently the defensive coordinator for the DC Defenders in the XFL. Wow.
And Wade Phillips is the head coach of the Houston Roughnecks. of the XFL.
Oh wow, yeah.
You're telling me none of those guys could, come in and be better than Vance Joseph?
Oh yeah.
Like, come on.
Isn't Wade Phillips like old as balls?
He is, but still.
76.
Listen,
Jesus.
the Patriots brought in like a fossilized Dante Scarnecchia. He was killing it still.
Dude, we need some Dante right now. We need some Dante.
Dante Scarnecchia, most important part of the Patriots dynasty? ?
Yeah, no kidding. We had to bring him back to win 3 more.
Yeah.
My 3 takes. Number 1, the Dolphins, as I said, the best team in the AFC East. I am not moving off that take. I still think I'm right. And after this weekend, they will prove me right because they're going to have their 2 toughest road wins of the season done. They beat New England in Gillette Stadium, and they missed out on, the extreme weather conditions. Like they missed bad New England. They got that tough road win, that tough road division win. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo. You can't tell me that they're going to lose to Buffalo and New England at home. It's not going to happen.
No,
it's not going to happen. Straight up. Therefore, the Dolphins are going to be AFC East champions, as I said, and I will be shaking my ass at Ryan at the podcast who said that Dolphins can't do it. They're a finesse team in a roughneck division. I am feeling super, super good about that. Number 2, I previewed it. I will say it again. I don't care that the Chargers beat the Vikings. They will be no more than a 6-win team this year. They are brutal, especially after losing Mike Williams for the year. The Quentin Johnston, I know he's a highly touted rookie. That dude is, as Ryan put it, he can't catch a football to save his life. He's got oven mitts for hands.
6'3" for nothing receiver.
Yeah, he's N'Keal Harry 2.0.
Aaron Dobson type, like trash.
I don't like anything. I like the Chargers quarterback. I like Keenan Allen. I like Austin Eckler. I like Derwin James. Their coaching is just horrendous, and I don't think they have enough, and they're always injured. Like the Chargers need a massive overhaul. I feel like they've been knocking on the door for it for years. They're not going to get better until they have a new owner. Straight up. Number 3. Do I have a third? Probably not. I don't think I have a third. I don't think I have a third take.
Go on, spread the Jordan Love propaganda with me. We are Jordan Love.
And I think the Packers at this point probably win the NFC North. But I would like to revise my Coach of the Year pick. I'm no longer with Kevin O'Connell. I'm on the Mike McDaniel train. I fucking love him. I love Mike McDaniel so much. Just his energy he brings to the press conference. He's an awkward weirdo, and I love it. He's a little sarcastic. I'm all for it. I'm all for the Mike McDaniel train. But let's move on.
I change mine too because Harbaugh lost to the fucking Colts.
Brutal. Oh, here's one. The Bengals might have won, but Joe Burrow still needs to take some time off.
Yeah.
But let's get into, I guess, the meat and potatoes of this show, as much as we're probably going to want to keep this quick. The Patriots are headed to the Lone Star State this weekend to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are loaded on offense and defense and fired up, and they're fired up to right some wrongs from last week's loss against Arizona. Patriots, on the other hand, are aiming to get back up to .500 in enemy territory at Jerry World. Ryan, what do the Pats need to do to take this W, make the upset, get the win, and go into week 5 against the Saints feeling pretty confident?
Keep Micah Parsons the fuck away from Mac Jones.
No kidding. Lawrence Taylor Jr.? Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, keep him away.
With that.
Because when I talk about O-line play, right, Cowboys, good D-line, good pass rush. It's not going away, man. Trenches matter. Mac needs to stay upright, and if you don't let him stay upright, man, it's going to be a long-ass day. It's be full of Micah Parsons beating the shit out of your quarterback. I would also say that this is going to be another huge game for Christian Gonzalez. The kid, you grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan. You're going back to your hometown, Your assignment this week is CeeDee Lamb, yet another elite receiver. How are you going to do against him? I'm super confident he's going to do really well, but it's going to be challenges every week, man. You got to continue to step up. And
next week, don't get any easier with Chris Olave.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet every single week. I think he's up for it though. And my last point is the run game got to continue to get going, man. and that starts with a good old friend from Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott.
No, I'm not as I don't really want the Zeke show. I want Ramondre.
We'll see, because Ramondre hasn't been that good. Zeke was really good on Sunday.
Yeah, but that was Zeke's like first good game in 6 years.
Hey, I guess who's gonna be super motivated to come back home?
He's fat. I don't think he's motivated at all. I think Zeke actually. I think his game last week is overrated. I think he looks sloppy.
Listen.
Our run game didn't do anything. Zeke just looks better because, oh my God, Zeke did something. We haven't seen that all year.
And what did Ramondre Stevenson do last week? Ramondre Stevenson sucked.
Yeah, our run game sucked. Our run game sucked. It wasn't just Ramondre.
Yeah, and the O-line sucks too. Everything about the Patriots actually suck.
Zoe doesn't get that reference. Go to some Felger and Maz clips on YouTube, and that's our local radio show around here. That's like the big one, and they got some funny clips for sure.
We should fire everybody.
They suck,
Brian,
Mike.
Bill Belichick hit the bricks.
Oh my God! Kiss the underside of my ass with his Mac Jones propaganda.
Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott bullshit. I don't want to see a goddamn thing. Kiss
more of this for the next 4 hours. But okay, Zoe, you can either talk about how the Cowboys need to win, or you can talk about how these Patriots can pull off that upset with some insider details, or you can mix it up. I let you have the free reign for this segment.
They first of all, they both need to win this game. Again, you're right about how Dallas, loaded on offense and defense. Their defense is pretty loaded. I'm not happy with their offense right now.
I just think the talent's there. I don't know how they performed, but the talent's there. You got top half of the league quarterback. You got a great running back. You got a couple of really good receivers: CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup. Love all of them. Jake Ferguson, your tight end. I mean, he's looked pretty good to start the year. I mean, there's talent there. It's just putting it together.
So CeeDee Lamb has no touchdown catches this year. Michael Gallup has none. Brandon Cooks has only played 2 games, but he has none. The only one averaging anything worth a damn in yards per game is CeeDee Lamb at 91 yards a game. Gallup, 35. Cooks, 19 and a half. Dak Prescott is just falling into like I said, mid-season form. Can't find his receivers. He's the touchdowns have been to Jake Ferguson and Rico Dowdle and Luke Schoonmaker. Okay, that's his touchdowns passes. Nothing to write home about. Nothing. Oh my God, this was great. The Patriots can win this game. Their defense has been good enough to win this game. Again, though, it goes back to what I said about Mac Jones needs to now start winning games, because clearly the coaching staff's not going to help him. And so he's just got to start wanting to win these games. Now, Dallas's defense they're just beasts. I can't see them winning, because Mac's going to have to win it, and he's going to be just beat up. I think Dallas is going to beat up on them. Freaking Micah Parsons with 4 sacks. The defense in total has 12 already. I see Dallas winning, not because Dallas is that much better. They're not going to. It's going to be a blowout. No, I think it's going to be a tight game. Both teams are going to have to ball out. I think Dallas defense is going to make a couple more plays, and Mac Jones is just not going to be able to escape Michael Parsons a couple times. He's going to need to. This is not going to be a blowout. I wouldn't be surprised if New England wins, but it's not going to be a blowout. Either way. Dallas is not as good as their first 2 games indicated. They played a depleted Jets team who had just lost Aaron Rodgers the week before, so they were already down. They beat the shit out of a Giants team who's not good. They're not.
Yeah,
good.
That was a kind of a culture shock for me. I wouldn't say that I was swearing up and down about the Giants, but I thought they were going to be a lot better than. You had them at 7-10. I had them at like 9-8. Don't give me that look, Ryan.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
I thought I was crazy, though. I'm like, Giants are not good, man.
Well, was it unreasonable to expect that Brian Daboll was going to keep
Like, no,
going.
it's unreasonable to expect Daniel Jones to be anything more than
Yes.
Daniel Jones.
Well, Daniel Jones last
Right
year,
there. That's
he
it.
looked like he had
Last
something.
year, the most spoon-fed offense of all time.
Yeah, that offense hasn't changed.
Last year was a contract year. You ball out in your contract year.
You got the bag. You're back to the same old
And
Danimal.
so I mean, I think Dallas wins this weekend. But would it shock me if New England pulled it out? No, because Dallas is not as good as their first 2 games indicated. And they showed that against this Cardinals team, who finally put a game together. The Cardinals had led both their first games, the first 2 games. They blew that. They finally found a team who couldn't keep up with them when it mattered. So I don't think Dallas is as good as they're being made out to be. I think the class of the NFC East is Philadelphia.
I will say with Dallas, though, as well, I think when you lose a player of Trayvon Diggs' caliber in the middle of the week during practice, it kind of fucks with you a little. So I can see it where maybe it. And here's the thing, I think Dallas is a good football team. I'll always say that. We always talk about the Dallas Cowboy moment, stuff like that. I do think last week it should be a one-off for them. And that's not to say that they're going to blow out New England, but when we get to our picks, it's not going to necessarily be a pro New England pick there. I think they'll be fine this week. I think Dallas, they're going to beat up on Mac Jones. They need to find ways to get other guys other than CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they do need to get CeeDee Lamb going. I don't know if it'll be against Gonzalez, though, unless you kind of get creative and move him around wherever to like when Gonzalez can't, follow him.
Don't we still not have Jonathan Jones? Isn't he like, did he get?
I think Jones is not playing yet.
Jesus Christ.
They need to get Tony Pollard going as well. Yeah. That's going to be a guy that Dallas needs to get cooking. I think Dallas win, or I think it's going to be an ugly game. Dallas pulls it off. They're a better football team. So,
leaking the picks early.
Leaking my pick. Sorry, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but I mean,
yeah, me too. My bad, dude.
No worries. You guys, luckily, I don't think you guys really took the points that I was gonna have. Number one, the Patriots offense is going to have ample opportunities, I think, to really just be sneaky efficient. When you lose somebody like Trayvon Diggs, that leaves a huge hole on one side of the defense. Stephon Gilmore is a no-go zone. You don't throw at that guy, no matter what. You never throw at Stephon Gilmore. He's going to make you pay for it. Stick out Devontae Parker over there and just assume, okay, not a Devontae Parker game. Whatever. Happens. Make use of your weapons with DeMario Douglas, Kendrick Bourne, get Booty out there. Let's see what happens. The run game needs to step up. I think Ryan said it again. They need to control the clock of this game, and I say this every single week because this offense just isn't good enough to score more than 5 times a game. Like, that's the number. You got to hit 5 if you want to win, and you got to mix up the touchdowns and field goals. It can't be all field goals like it was. There wasn't all field goals last week, but I think we were a couple of games last year where it was like all field goals. You gotta put the ball in the end zone. You gotta control the clock. Keep Dallas on the sideline. As good as your defense is, again, Dallas is super talented, top to bottom. They're eventually gonna figure it out and do just enough to get those wins. They're probably gonna be a playoff team, maybe because the NFC is just so depleted, but they're going to be a solid playoff team. Lastly, you do whatever you can to just keep Micah Parsons out of that backfield. You got your right tackle's a mess, and I would assume that Micah Parsons is predominantly going to be on the right side going up against Verdarian Lowe and whoever is out there. You need to put Zeke in there to help with the pass protection. You got to put in Ramondre to chip him, have a tight end chip him. You got to do whatever you can to give Mac that extra second, and all your focus should be Micah Parsons on that defense. Not unlike you guys, I'm not totally optimistic about this Patriots game, but we did line up our 3 keys. I think we did a really solid job of dressing up that game, and we'll put a nice bow on it in this segment where we deliver our weekly NFL Pick'em. It is our week 4 Pick'em. In week 3, Ryan and I tied again with 10 games correct, but Ryan wins the tiebreaker of points total for the 3rd straight week because he took the lower points. I'm starting to get annoyed, but we're on to week 4, and Big Zoe's here to help us out. So without further ado, let's get to our week 4 Pick'em. Up next, first on Prime Video, the Detroit Lions head to Lambeau Field for the first time since that Week 18 game that sent Aaron Rodgers packing out of Green Bay. They're going to take on the Packers and Jordan Love. Ryan, who you got in this game and why?
My guy, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Why?
Because Jordan loves the truth. No, it's sort of jokes aside. I am a big believer in Jordan Love, and I am a big believer in this Packers team. And I think the Lions, I think they're a really fun bunch. Don't get me wrong. But, I think, last year, obviously, they had that big win. Maybe Detroit does some psychopath shit again, like a hook and ladder to ice a game versus Green Bay. But I don't know. I just think Green Bay is a better football team than Detroit is this year.
Zoe, what do you got?
I got the Lions. I'm a believer, man. I think Dan Campbell has them playing well, has them believing, has them wanting to win games this year. It's like it's not there's a different vibe about them. And the end of last season, I think, has completely seeped into this year. They ended last year on a note. It felt like if they made the playoffs, they were going to be scaring people. People were not going to just be like, "Oh, no big deal." I think the Lions loss to the Seahawks was a fluke. Their win against the Chiefs was also a fluke. I think they're closer to the team that beat the Falcons last week, 20-6, and I think they're gonna beat Green Bay. I have this feeling about them this week.
Up next, Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons. They're headed to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars after that blowout loss to Houston. I took Green Bay. I forgot to say that. I took Green Bay.
I was gonna say, did you make your pick?
Yeah, I took Green Bay and Lambeau. I'm not a believer in the Lions yet. I need to see more. I need to make sure that Dan Campbell's not just an airhead. Like we talked about.
We're feeling the love, Caleb. We're feeling the love.
We are indeed.
We are Jordan Love.
Jacksonville homestand versus the Falcons. I took the Jaguars just so I don't forget. I think they're just a much more talented team. They are not the team that got blown out by Jacksonville. That was an off game. They're going to come in. They're going to dominate. The Falcons aren't shit because Arthur Smith is a clown and they don't have a quarterback, and they're absolutely wasting the pure talent that is Kyle Pitts. Zoe, let's kick it off to you. Falcons at Jacksonville. What do you got?
Well, it's not at Jacksonville. They're at Wembley Stadium. They're overseas.
Oh, that's a London game? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that to me that makes a difference.
Still Jacksonville for me. That's a home game.
And so I believe it or not, I got Atlanta. I think Bijan Robinson is gonna do well. And I think Tyler Algier last week was a one-off on having a bad game. He's played pretty decent this year. Yes, Jacksonville's advantage is Lawrence over Ridder by a long shot. But I think Atlanta beats them this weekend, and I think Jacksonville has to try to figure out what they're going to be doing at 1-3 after this weekend.
Good thing they play in a really shitty division. Ryan, let's go to you.
Give me the London Jaguars. I will say though, we were talking about Kyle Pitts and all that stuff. Guess which clown picked him up in fantasy this week in his money league? This idiot.
I'm guessing you're that clown.
I am that clown. Listen, my other tight end was Juwan Johnson. I had no choice.
Dude, Juwan Johnson, what a disappointment.
I know.
We're both super high.
I'll be a clown. I'll be a clown and take that chance. It's better than whatever else is on waivers.
All right. The cream of the crop of the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins. They're going on to take what's going to be the second place team, the Buffalo Bills, in Buffalo. I took Miami for obvious reasons. I'm a very big believer in them. I think they got what it takes. I think they're going to be a real solid team. They're going to lose like 4 games this year, maybe 3. I am that high on the Miami Dolphins this year. Ryan, let's go to you. Who's winning this?
I hate to say this. It's going to be Buffalo.
Oh, you're wrong.
Listen, fuck the Bills.
You're
But
wrong.
playing in
Wrong.
Buffalo is not fun, man. Really, it's not fun. And Miami, here's the thing about Miami is I know you're a big believer in them. They are also putting up like 07 Patriots type like offense right now.
Yeah, and
So,
it's not a fluke. It's not. It's not unsustainable. They have more talent than the 07 Patriots did. They have more talent than the 07 Patriots did. I will stand on that.
But they have a much worse quarterback than the 07 Patriots did.
Oh, come on. The difference between 07 Brady and 2023 Tua is not the biggest gap on the planet. It's not. Tua is playing fantastic football.
Caleb, come on.
Tua is playing fantastic football.
Caleb,
yeah, I will say it.
Brady was the best quarterback in football in 2007.
Yeah, but is Tom Brady in 2007 the best quarterback in 2023?
Yes.
No.
I think he'd be better than Mahomes. Yes.
No. Absolutely not.
We're not going to do this debate today.
Absolutely not. Zoe, tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm right.
Zoe, I need backup. Zoe.
Hold on. I think 07 Brady, as long as he keeps that if you put that team right now, it's still the best. He's still the best quarterback in the league.
I don't know. I think the Dolphins got something special. I do. I think the Dolphins have something special. But you take Buffalo because you're not willing to stand on the bold take. I get it. So, who do you got? Miami and Buffalo.
You know, Miami has to lose a game at some point, but it's not this week.
Amen, brother.
It's not this week. You know, and honestly, I think as long as Tua stays healthy, fuck, man, they've got firepower.
So you're with me. You're with me.
But goddamn, man, it's gonna be a while before
they're gonna lose like 3 games.
Yeah, they're fucking good. Yeah, they're good.
So you're buying the hype with me. You're buying the hype.
Yeah, I am. You know, coming into the season, no. 3 games in, I'm like, okay, keep doing this, and you're fucking. I mean, dude, who the hell puts up 70 points on a professional football team?
To be fair, Denver did kind of tap out after.
There is a Denver is bad element, but the Patriots, not the Patriots, the Dolphins are good.
Bro,
they're good.
That's the second most points of all time in a game.
Denver's a great football, or no, Denver's not a great football team.
Patriots 07
Miami's a
didn't
great
do that.
football team. My thing is just I think Buffalo is a great football team, and I don't think Miami is gonna listen. I would actually prefer to be wrong because I fucking hate Buffalo a lot more than I hate Miami. I just think Buffalo is on par with Miami. At least they're even rosters wise. Miami's got the way better offense, but great defenses do find ways to win, man. And Josh Allen, as much as I like to shit on him, he's a great quarterback.
Hasn't looked right this year though.
He looked good versus Washington.
Washington. That's funny.
2-0 Commanders, respectfully.
Yeah, you were buying those 2-0 Commanders after they beat who? They beat Denver, and who they beat before
Respect the commies.
The Cardinals. They beat the Cardinals. Please.
The year of the commies. Respect them.
Kiss the yonder side of my ass with that. Up next. God, this game should be flexed to Wednesday, just of how brutal this is. The Denver Broncos, they're going to Chicago to take on the Bears. I mean, these are the 2 worst teams in football, and I don't think it's relatively close. I took Denver because I just think the Bears are that bad, and I think the Broncos, I mean, Sean Payton's such a good coach. They have remnants of a good roster there. The Bears have nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing I can point to on the Bears and say, yes, I like that. I hate everything about it. Who did I start off with last game? I started off with Ryan. Okay, so Denver at Chicago.
You know, I'm going to go with Chicago. It seemed to me like Denver gave up last week, like for good. They need to come out here and show something, or Sean Payton, he's not going to be fired. He's going to have to clean house starting yesterday. I think Chicago wins this game.
Ryan.
I got Denver. As I said in my thing, I think Denver will get better before, I don't think they're that bad. And Chicago, man, as Caleb said, I'm with Caleb, man. Chicago, clown show. Just an absolute clown show organization, man.
And their former defensive coordinator might be hanging out with Jared from Subway. Up next.
The whole thing there, by the way, with Alan Williams is like inappropriate conduct at work. Not.
Okay, so he's not Jared Fogle.
That was
okay.
That whole wild ass theories were false.
Peanut Tillman, the FBI informant, gets Hollis Howell rated. Yeah.
If that was true, that would have been one of the wildest stories in NFL history.
I would have been excited for the HBO Max documentary on it.
That would be a great documentary. But yeah.
But up next, the Baltimore Ravens. They're coming off that weird loss to Indy. It was just kind of a weird football game. They're going to Cleveland to take on the dishonorable Deshaun Watson. Ryan, who's winning this game?
You know what? I've been riding on the Baltimore train all year. I'm not hopping off it yet. Give me the Ravens.
I agree. I'm taking the Ravens as well. I'm not buying in on the Cleveland plays well hype. Deshaun Watson hasn't been impressive. They have the talent on offense there. Losing Nick Chubb is huge, though. I don't know how the Browns played last week. That really, how were their running backs last week? Do we know? Any good? Did anybody watch Browns football?
No, but I'm with you with Baltimore on this.
Okay.
I think we're all on that page with
this. Good. I expect some diversity in this one, though. The Cincinnati Bengals, they weathered the storm against the Rams. Joe Burrow didn't look like his usual self. I don't think anybody would say that. Maybe shouldn't have even played. They're going to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans, who won last week. Did they win?
Titans, they lost to Cleveland.
They lost to Cleveland? Okay. God, they lost to Cleveland. Brutal. I'm taking Tennessee. I just think this whole thing with Joe Burrow just isn't sustainable. He needs to take time off. The leg is acting up. It's bad. The Titans are overachievers. They always play well against teams they should beat. They're always in it at the end, even if they're not the best. I'm taking the Titans. Vrabel is a fantastic coach. Zoe.
I can't take the Titans in this game, unfortunately.
I understand.
You have Derrick Henry averaging 54 yards a game rushing, DeAndre Hopkins averaging 51 yards a game receiving. They're not a good team, and it's
not a lot there. Yeah,
it looks like Derrick Henry has hit that running back wall. I'm not sure he's washed yet, but damn it, he's close.
Right.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, that's a sneaky story we could talk about. He has not looked good this year. But I'm gonna take Cincy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be ugly. I picked Tennessee last week and they burned me because I thought they were gonna go in and beat Cleveland, but no, give me Cincy.
Yeah, true. So far, just for keeping track, me and Ryan usually never disagree until the 4:00 window. We already have two disagreements, which I love. Up next, the Rams. They're going to Indy to take on the Colts. I don't know who the quarterback is in Indy this week. Is it Anthony Richardson? Is it Gardner Minshew? Either way, they're not beating the Rams. Give me the formerly St. Louis Rams. They're just gonna ram it. They're gonna take the W, and everybody's gonna be hyping up the Rams as a NFC West contender, even though they really aren't. Give me the Rams. Ryan, who you got?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat the matchup? It's Rams versus who?
Indy.
Rams and Colts.
Oh, Rams. Oh, give me the Rams. Come on, the Colts are not.
You're not buying in that they beat the Ravens hype?
Well, no, not really. I thought Baltimore beat themselves more than the Colts beat them. Quite frankly,
I agree.
Yeah, no. And I did see Richardson might come back, but still, I don't know. I wouldn't. Colts shouldn't put him back in yet, especially coming off concussion. That's just me, though. Yeah.
So,
Rams.
what do you think?
I got the Rams, and if Richardson comes back, I got the Rams by more.
That's right. You're not a big Richardson guy, are you?
Nope, not in the least.
Nothing's impressed you?
No. Dude is DK Metcalf throwing a football. So no.
Ooh,
Dude, I need to get Trent and Zoe on an episode to talk about
that would be interesting.
Richardson. Zoe, I'll have to hit you up on Colts week. Up next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to New Orleans to take on the probably Derek Carrless Saints. I took Tampa. They're overachieving this year. Baker Mayfield, he sucks still, but he's made that Bucs offense look kind of decent.
Dave Canales did, not Baker.
Listen, I know that you have to put out your Tom Brady defense agenda, but I'm not here for it. Okay, we've had enough. Tom Brady's retired. Let's move on. Who did I go to first last game? I go to Ryan first.
Ryan.
Okay, Zoe, Tampa, and New Orleans in the Superdome.
I got Tampa, and I don't think Baker's as bad as you thought that he was. He's not great, but he's keeping him afloat.
Not a top 16 quarterback, right?
No, probably.
Remember
not.
that was my take versus Benner that opening NFL week last season, and he got really mad at me, and I was right. But
no. Well, last season when the season started, I thought he might be. And when the season ended, I was like, I wasn't sure he was going to be picked up by anybody, and I he's keeping him afloat. I mean, four touchdowns, 1 pick. It is what it is. He's had moments where he looks really good, and then he's had other moments where you're like, hey man, that guy was wide open. Why'd you throw into the stands? Type of thing. So, but no, I have Tampa winning this game.
If Derek Carr was playing, would you change your mind? Because I would.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jameis Winston also not good. Ryan, who you got?
I want to wait until whatever team wins the side of the Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore fight. That will happen.
I don't know if Marshawn Lattimore I don't know if Evans is going to go wreck Marshawn Lattimore's shit.
No,
for
he
Baker
will.
Like he
Those
would
two,
for
like
Brady.
it's on site. It's like Peter Griffin and the chicken. Honestly, fuck playing a football game there because it's garbage. Okay, Baker Mayfield versus Jameis Winston's garbage. The fucking winner should be whoever wins a fucking 8-round boxing match between Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. Do it at the 50-yard line.
Make it a 9-round match so they could be a winner. Eight could be
9 rounds. Sorry, I'm not a big boxing guy. Whatever. You do 5 rounds like UFC.
Yeah.
Whatever style of fighting you want. Let's do that instead of playing this football game. But
Evans would fucking kill him.
But since there has to be a football game played, give it to New Orleans Saints.
Even without Derek Carr.
Yes.
Justify it.
Baker Mayfield sucks.
Okay, I won't argue. The Washington Commanders, they're going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. I don't think this is a game. I think the Eagles defense is going to absolutely demolish Sam Howell. Like, you might see Jacoby Brissett in this game is going to be that bad. Ryan, you got
Philly.
Yeah, okay. Not a whole lot of conversation to have here. No. It's the commies. Zoe, who you got?
Philadelphia, and I think Philadelphia is looking at what Miami did last week and saying that let's get that record. Let's get that right.
Anything I can do better than you. Up next, the 0-3 Minnesota Vikings are going to take on the Carolina Panthers, who I believe are also 0-3.
They might be 1-2. Maybe.
Did they? No, I think the Panthers are also 1-3.
Okay, well they're both bad. I took Minnesota. Minnesota's due for a goddamn win. They're too talented to be doing this. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator. I don't know what's going on over there in Minnesota, but it's got to get right eventually. They're going to pick up this dub in Charlotte, and we're going to move on. The Vikings are going to start making a run. They're going to make the playoffs. Let it manifest now. Zoe, what do you got?
Minnesota.
Okay.
Because Kirk Cousins is better than whoever Carolina is going to put out there.
It's true. It's very, very true. Ryan, who you got?
Minnesota, and if they lose, tank. If you can't beat the fucking Panthers, tank. Trade Kirk Cousins, get rid of him. It's over. The era is over. Tank if you can't beat them.
Up next,
I got Minnesota.
The Pittsburgh Steelers coming off that big win in Vegas. Thank you, Josh McDaniels. They're going to take on the possible offensive rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud in Houston. I took Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think Pittsburgh they're a team that knows who they should beat, and they displayed it last week against Vegas. They kind of let them sneak in the door a little bit late, but I think they know who they should beat, and they beat those teams confidently. I'm not buying into the Houston hype after beating Jacksonville. Division games are always weird. Give me the Steelers in Allegiant Stadium. Not Allegiant Stadium. What's the stadium called over there?
Jacksonville?
No, in Houston. Reliant Stadium.
Energy.
Oh,
Something.
It's not Reliant anymore?
No, it's like Energy Stadium or something like that.
Okay. Well, Ryan, who you got?
I've loved what CJ Stroud has done. And, I think he is the franchise there in Houston, and it feels a little crazy to say after maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. I think he's been amazing. With that being said, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, not a fun team or a fun duo to play against. I know Laramie Tunsil's him, but TJ Watt's also him and Alex Highsmith's him. Pittsburgh wins fugly football. It's going to be fugly football.
Hey, I'm right there with you. So,
And you know what, Pittsburgh fans?
Oh.
I'll yell it for you as well. Fire Matt Canada.
Yes. Zoe, what do you think?
I got Pittsburgh. CJ Stroud is really good. And he's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year again, let's see halfway through the year where he's at, right? But Mike Tomlin has a way to make rookie quarterbacks look like rookies. Mike Tomlin is, we talked about TJ Watts. He's that guy. Laramie Tunsil, he's that guy. Mike Tomlin is that guy. And so give me Pittsburgh.
Right there with you. Up next, the Las Vegas Raiders. Good chance my boy Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to play. They're going to SoFi to take on the Chargers. I said the Chargers are a 5-win team. They got one. This is probably where they get their second. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays, I would change it, but I'm assuming he's not because concussion. I mean, it's hard to come back from that in the same week. I'll take the Chargers reluctantly. I love my boy Brian Hoyer the Destroyer, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a game the Raiders can realistically win. The Chargers are going to beat up on this bad team, and they're going to move on. Josh McDaniels. This is the battle of maybe two of the worst coaches in the league. Give me the Chargers. Zoe, what do you think?
Give me the Chargers, and even if Jimmy G was playing, give me the Chargers, not because of Jimmy G, but because Josh McDaniels is still coaching in Vegas.
Gotcha. Ryan, what do you think?
Listen, if the Chargers somehow get Brian Hoyered, you throw Brandon Staley off the Santa Monica Pier. Get him the fuck out.
Dude, I want a Brian Hoyer masterclass. I really do. I would go
Brian
so
Hoyer
high for a
or
Hoyer.
Even better, the AOC Revolution.
Aiden O'Connell, yes, sir. Yeah.
But yeah, no, give me the Chargers. And if they lose, Brandon Staley, bye. Get out. You clown.
We are going to skip the New England and Dallas games here for last. Up next, the Arizona Cardinals are going to head to San Francisco to take on their division rival 49ers, looking to capitalize on the momentum they've kind of built from that Dallas win. I think the talent here is just way too wide for this to really be a game. Division games are weird, admittedly, but I think the Niners are just too goddamn talented, and the Cardinals are kind of a clusterfuck. Ryan, what do you got in this game?
I originally thought the Cardinals are going to go 0-17 or 1-16. I think, and I hated it at the time, but Gannon actually might not be terrible at this coaching thing. With that being said, I still got the 49ers winning, but it wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals make it a little closer than it should be.
I agree. So, what do you think?
49ers, the Cardinals are gonna realize what it means to play against a team who likes to play offense rather than likes to kick field goals. So, I got the Niners beating the Cardinals.
This game was highly anticipated coming into the year. Some injuries have made this not so interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to MetLife to take on the Jets. Once again, we missed out on the Rodgers versus Mahomes duel. I mean, every time they've been played against each other, it's been one injury to one or the other. I don't think this is a convo. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Jets have Zach Wilson. Is there any debate here from anybody?
This is the week Zach Wilson finally. No.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, Zach Wilson turns into the second No, Kansas City. By a lot.
Listen, I'll sell you my beach house in Montana if you think Zach Wilson will win this game.
Up next, the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. They're going to take on the Giants, also in MetLife. Quick turnaround for that stadium. I took Seattle. I want to believe in the Giants. I want to believe in Daniel Jones. I want to believe in Brian Daboll. Doesn't seem like it's the year for them. They're a little bit closer to a retooling year rebuild than we possibly thought in the offseason. Zoe, there you go.
You know, I agree with you. And the sad thing that you said is it's close to a rebuild for the Giants. This shouldn't be a rebuild year. They signed their quarterback. You know, we're ready to go. I think Daniel Jones is regressing, or he's going back to the mean. You know, he's regressed to the mean. He was not that good. He played out of his mind last year on a contract year, and now, like Hoser said earlier, he got the bag. And so I got Seattle, and it may not be close. And
I'm super high on Seattle this year, to tell the truth. Ryan, what do you think?
Seattle. And
for points tiebreaker's sake, I went with a score of what did I go with? I had a score total of 41. I forget what my total was. Maybe it was
31 to 10.
Yeah, let's go with that. 31 to 10. Ryan, what's your score?
I got 35-24.
So that's 59. For once, I took the under. I took the low end. Let's see. Let's hopefully that pans out for me this time around, and Ryan can stop getting these Mickey Mouse points tiebreaker wins. Let's go back to the game at hand. New England Patriots. They're heading to.
Do you want me to put my points in there or no?
Sure. For the sake of the sheet.
34-13, total of 47.
Thank you. All right. Up next, the final game, the game at hand, the game we've been all talking about for the last hour or so. The New England Patriots, they are headed to Jerry World to take on the Patriots. We've set the window dressing. We've talked about it. We talked about what the Patriots need to do. We talked about what the Dallas needs to do. We've lined up the talent. We lined up the pieces on paper. We've gone over the year. Ryan, tell me why the New England Patriots will
lose to the Dallas Cowboys. And I kind of tipped it by accident, but I just think Dallas is a better overall football team. They have a way better defense than the Patriots do offense. And unfortunately, Mac Jones is going to get beat up. And it's going to suck. And I think Dallas will get enough timely points to be able to beat New England. And I'm going to have to hear it from, a couple Cowboys fans I know that annoy the fuck out of me. I love them, but they annoy me. And it's going to suck.
Zoe, you got anything to differ?
No, I think Dallas wins. I honestly don't think it's a blowout at all. I said earlier, I think it's going to be close. I think they're pretty evenly matched, believe it or not. All of Dallas's offense isn't that. Dallas plays. It doesn't matter who's over there. They're going to play at this level here, so people will come up to them and people will come down to them. I think New England comes up to them, and I think it's a close game. Honestly, I see 21-17. You know what I mean? It's that close, 17-14. I think this would be a fun game to watch. Both sides, whether you're a Patriots fan or a Cowboys fan, it'll be fun. It'll be intense. I think Dallas pulls it out, but I don't think these teams are as far apart as their quote stats would indicate.
So I've been spending the last half hour trying to talk myself into picking the Patriots here. And I think Zoe makes a lot of good points. I think that there is opportunities to be had for New England. I really do. I think losing Trayvon Diggs is huge. And the Patriots are very, very good at taking out your best player, making them ineffective. I think Micah Parsons, he's very, very good. He's going to get his. But I think the Patriots are capable of at least slowing him down and not maybe taking him out of the game, but making him kind of a shell of his usual production. I think that's possible. And I think on offense, I think that there's a lot of like things you could consider to be the Cowboys' best weapon, but it's a lot of B pluses. There's not a lot of A's on that offense. I think there's a lot of B pluses. And that's more than the Patriots have. I mean, our highest is maybe a B minus. But I think the Patriots, I mean, this is where not having the talent comes back to bite them. They do not have the B pluses. They don't have the A that takes them over the top. They got a lot of solid Bs, a lot of Cs. They look like my report card in high school. Okay, like they aim for the middle and they make it work. I made it to senior year in college, for God's sake. Like I made it work with those with that average GPA. I'm a solid to maybe a little bit above average high school student. I did it in college. I'm all right. Patriots are doing the same thing right now. They try to beat you by being smart and being efficient. And I think against a team like Dallas, you just need just a little bit of something to push you over the edge, and I don't think the Patriots have it. Maybe they prove me wrong, and it's Ramondre Stevenson having a huge game. They prove me wrong, and Demario Douglas looks like 2015 Julian Edelman when we visited Jerry World. But I can't in good conscience take New England to win this game, although I do think they have a chance. I do agree the game ends as something like 21-17, maybe a 24-21. It's going to be tight. But yeah, that's our week 4 pick'em. Now to close the show, we have some important business to take care of. We have a very special viewer, as usual, watches every episode. Has been watching every episode of any content I've had. She's an avid enjoyer of Big Zoe and El Cabra. She's a big Zoe fan. I mean, if there was a T-shirt, she'd be wearing it.
Actually, we have a T-shirt, believe it or not. So, I can get Cy Guy to get me one. I'll send it to her.
Oh, awesome! I think she'd love that. Yes, Nana McChesney. It's a big birthday. So from all of us here at Foxboro Beat and the Big Zoe.
Happy birthday, Nana!
Happy birthday, Nana!
Awesome. She's gonna love that.
A really good one. And thank you for watching, Caleb, and for watching us. Thank you.
We all very much appreciate the feedback, the support. I know every show I get a text from Nana and her review, and I send it to Ryan. She's always been very complimentary of Ryan. She doesn't love Benner, but she loves Ryan.
I really appreciate Caleb's Nana. Happy birthday. Have a great one.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, Nana.
Yeah. All love in the world.
And we thank the rest of you for joining us on this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. We will see you all next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow our page on Facebook and Instagram. And additionally, check out Big Zoe and El Cabra and the whole cast of folks over there at Big Zoe and El Cabra Sports Talk, that channel. Again, that channel is found on our Friends of the Show tab. And hopefully, maybe you'll see me and Ryan over there soon enough talking about something other than football. I mean, I got NASCAR playoffs coming up. Maybe I can drag Stokes in for a show on the Championship 4. But that's it for us. Zoe, Ryan, any parting thoughts before we sign off?
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. It's a good time.
Thank you for being here, Zoe. It's been great. Always love talking to you.
Yeah, it's a good time. Love you guys, man. It's good stuff.
Love you too, man.
We love you too. All right. Well, I've been Kaleb McChesney. That's been Ryan Moore. That's been the Big Zoe, Alonzo Maestas. We will see you all next week. Go Pats.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.